What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to more Dead by Daylight. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the Skull Merchant getting an update. Now, before we get started, let's go ahead and check out what Behavior had to say on social media. They said this right here. They said, "Ready your drones. We're sharing an update on what the future could hold for the Skull Merchant. We'd love your feedback on these possible changes, so let us know in the survey at the end of the design preview," giving us the forum link and the Reddit link. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, boys and girls, now before we jump right into it, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. When it comes to the Skull Merchant as a killer, this is not a fun character to go up against, okay? When it comes to the survivor side, whenever I go into games and we find out that the killer is the Skull Merchant, I just start seeing DCs left and right, okay? A lot of people don't even want to put up with this killer in their games. Let's just go ahead and state that fact. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people that also enjoy this killer, but the majority of the community do not like seeing this killer at all in the game. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into this. Let me know what you guys think about all these changes once we're done, but let's get right into it. It says, design preview, the Skull Merchant. Giving us a little image right here. It says, today we want to dig into a topic that we know many of you have been yearning to know more about. Our vision for the future of the Skull Merchant. And right here it does say, reevaluating the Skull Merchant. We know that the Skull Merchant is this divisive killer who, regardless of her performance in a trial, carries a lot of history and strong feelings among players. What did I just say? Let's go ahead and keep going. It says many players feel she's not fun to play against, and her kit is exceedingly complex, which scares away potential killers from trying her and makes it difficult for survivors to consider counterplay without dedicated research. As we look to reworking Skull Merchant, our aim is to 1. Strike a balance between being fun to play as and against. Once again, we literally just said that. Number 2, preserve the intel focus of her kit while making it intuitive to understand for both sides. Number 3, move away from a passive power with limited player interactions and embrace a more active playstyle while ensuring the power is compensated in interesting ways. Those last 2 points may be particularly difficult to hear for a long-time Skull Merchant main, but we feel it's more important to be clear about our intentions here. While the future we envision for Skull Merchant is quite different from her previous iterations, we feel this rework brings some exciting new tools of torment to the table. I'm gonna die. Look at this image. Look, this is the image they gave us, bro. This is so funny. This is so good. Right here, it says Drones 2.0. Skull Merchant can deploy a stealth drone. She carries a total of 5, which scans the immediate vicinity and provides intel back to her. After a short activation period, the drone gives off a subtle audio and visual indications of the area being scanned, revealing any survivors on the radar who are caught by its 2 rotating detection zones. Importantly, we slow the rotation speed slightly and tone down the visual intensity of these zones, removing the large scan lines to replace them with something more subtle. Namely, you'll see the direction of each detection zone as they rotate, but the detection zone itself is invisible. This gives survivors an impression of the space that's being actively scanned, but requires them to proceed cautiously. Hence, the image right here. Right under it does say, while we know they have their supporters, the original scan lines were visually loud and often clash with the rest of the game's look and feel. The intent here is to strike a balance between giving survivors just enough info to assess the threat, a subtle rotating field of detection, without that threat overwhelming the space and feeling incongruous to Dead by Daylight's visual identity. Let's go ahead and keep it going. Right down here, it does say drone control. Once a stealth drone has been active for a short period, Skull Merchant can choose to take control of drones from a distance. During this time, she becomes undetectable as her controlled drones becomes the primary threat. These stealth drones move slightly faster than their base movement speed and consume a new resource, power, unique to each drone while being controlled. Power is consumed slowly as the controlled drone idles, and slightly more is consumed while moving. Skull Merchant is also able to use a burst of this power to activate drone propulsion. This charge power sends the drone flying forward at high speed relative to how long it was charged. And right under the image right here, the little animation does say, put simply, stealth drone go birth. That's so funny, dude. This is gonna be crazy, man. This is gonna be nuts. I don't know. This is one of those things where we're just gonna have to go in game and see how the new update actually works, right? But it's very interesting for sure. Let's go and keep it going. It does say hitting a survivor with drone propulsion causes them to lose a health state. If you hit survivor or collide with an object during this action, the drone will be destroyed and return control to Skull Merchant. With these new stealth drones, we want to give players something that feel familiar, using drones to gather intel, but also opens the door for unique skill expression opportunities. Repositioning drones and propulsion skill shots. Using technology to hunt her prey is core to Skull Merchant's identity, and so it's important that we stay true to that. We have opted to remove any of the background effects, hindered, haste, lock-on, claw trap, that were previously tied to these drones though. Rather than doing a little bit of everything with their drones under layers of complexity, we want their use cases to be clear to killers and survivors alike on the fly. Basically, if they're static, they're likely scanning for survivors. If they're moving, they're a collision hazard. Let's move on to the next section right here. It says drone hacking. Like drones themselves, drone hacking returns with a greater degree of risk and reward. Like before, drones can be disabled by survivors by inputting a series of button presses while closed. If a drone is disabled, Skull Merchant's aura is revealed to that survivor, providing useful intel. If the hack is failed, they are revealed by the killer instinct and are prevented from attempting another hack for a short period of time. The intention here is to introduce a greater degree of tension to hacking while offering a clear way for survivors to interact with Skull Merchant's kit in a meaningful way. The intel reward is greater than before, but the risk of being revealed is more impactful. With intel at the center of the tension on both sides, we hope it makes this interaction easily digestible by players. Looks like we're coming near to the end right here. Let's go and move on to the next section. It says red light, green light. Good games. In addition to her drone, Skull Merchant has another power that ties into her radar. While the name is currently TBD, let's refer it to as a global detection power. Once this power is charged and activated, a global warning plays for all survivors. For a short period afterwards, any survivor who actively sprints is revealed on her radar. Of course, crouching, standing still, and hiding in lockers all prevent detection, added to the intel provided by stealth drones around the map. This should help to ensure killers are easily able to keep tabs on survivor movements. Right on that does say, in line with our rationale above, we want survivors to have a clear understanding of what's happening when they face the Skull Merchant. Where the overlapping timers and status effect of Skull Merchant's previous kit often obscured what the expected result of an encounter might be, structuring this power around a well-known game, red light, green light, provides a clear and readable threat and clear benefit for the killer, and a clear path for survivors to try and overcome it. So, now that that's done, let's move on to the final section right here of the update when it comes to this killer. It says tentative release. We are currently evaluating a timeline for Skull Merchant's rework, but do envision it being quite far out, as our primary focus is on driving quality of life updates. Once we have a timeline to share, we will be sure to keep you informed via future design preview updates. And right here it does say phew, that was a lot, for real. How do you feel about this rework? We want to hear from you. Jump into our survey and share our thoughts right here. Giving us a link. I will put this whole page right here, this whole update, down in the description below, so if you guys want to check that out for yourself. And if you guys want to take part of this survey and give your feedback on all the updates they plan on doing with this killer, let them know. Let them know what you think. Let them know what you like. Let them know what you don't like. They're definitely listening to feedback. Right under that, it does say See in the Fog, the Dead by Daylight team. And there we go. The updates for the Skull Merchant. I'm not gonna lie, guys, that was a lot to digest. But once again, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and let Dead by Daylight know what you think about the updates. Okay, I'm gonna show you right here, right now. Okay, I do not play Skull Merchant at all whatsoever. I definitely put my time into playing other killers, but when it comes to the Skull Merchant, definitely not one on my priority list. Look at that. I still have Skull Merchant Prestige 1. I prestiged her just so I can get the, you know, the perks and all that good stuff. But anyway, there we go. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, but that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe. It definitely does help a lot. I'll see y'all next video maker, right? Later.